Okay, let's do it.
Retaliated.
Now, let's go with Floor, I think, right? Floor, number 1.
There are a number of cases where organizations have wrongdoing against whistleblowers.
Sorry, can you repeat the answer? Just the answer, please. Have what?
Wrongdoing.
Wrongdoing? No. In this case, we need a verb. And in these options, there are 2
Classified.
verbs. One is retaliate, and the other is discredit. Which do you think is the answer?
Retaliate.
Yes. Retaliate, by the way, is a regular verb. Yeah. So you should write in this case retaliated. Yeah. Can you notice why retaliated, guys? By the way, this is the PP, the past participle. Why retaliated? Can you notice why? No? Okay. Extra point if you notice why. Why verb in PP? Why verb in past participle?
Because where? After
Because
where?
what? Okay, you have 10 seconds. You can get an extra point if you notice why this verb in PP, in past participle. Why? And I am giving you a clue. The verb retaliated now is here in past participle. Why? Okay, time's up. It happens that here we have the expression or the auxiliary have, and we use the auxiliary have or has for present. Yeah, and in present perfect have or has, that's in PP. That's why we use retaliate. Yeah, remember retaliate, by the way, in Spanish means tomar represalia. Yeah, like vengan. Yeah? Thank you, Flor. Let's continue with Gina. Gina, number 2.
Releasing.
Releasing classified documents is against the law.
Yes, against the law. That's true. Must be careful when, in this case, releasing this kind of law. Now, Isabel, number 3.
Many whistleblowers prefer to stay anonymous out of fear for their safety.
Yes, thank you very much. Exactly. Stay anonymous is better. Yeah? Okay. Now, yeah, because, sometimes organizations may retaliate against them. Yeah? No, and not only organizations, sometimes even the same criminals. 4, continue please, Kiara, number 4.
Me, Mr. Number 4.
Yes, please.
Okay, and companies sometimes try to Can I see the options? Oh, yeah.
These are the options. Oh, yeah. Anonymous, unprecedented, wrongdoing, classified, retaliate, and discredit. Which do you think is the option?
Try to discredit.
Yes. Try to discredit by making them appear untrustworthy. Yeah. Untrustworthy means como que it's a strange word, you know, because trustworthy es como confiable, so untrustworthy is inconfiable. Yeah. O desconfiable. Yeah, that would be the expression. Thank you. Next is going to be May. May, number 5.
5. A cover up is an attempt to hide evidence of wrongdoing.
Very good. Wrongdoing. Yeah, a cover up. Yeah. Yes, a cover up. And I'm not really sure about this, but I would say that a cover up is sometimes like coartada. Yeah. Or sometimes it's como, well, here in Peru, no. It's another expression. It's not coartada. It's like tapada. Yeah. That means, yeah, here in Peru is really common. And I say this because you see the news, you watch the news sometimes, and they, yeah, in governments, they usually cover up the evidence of wrongdoing from previous governments and so on. Last one, we already know the answer, but just in case, I want you to read it. That person is going to be Juan Carlos. Juan Carlos, number 6.
Number 6.
Mm-hmm.
One whistleblower, Bradley Birkenfield, received an unprecedented reward to 104 million from the U.S. government.
Thank you very much. Yeah, unprecedented. Yeah, reward. Wow, can you believe these guys? $104 million. I would retire. If I found that number, that amount of money. Number 1, retaliated. Number 2, classified. Number 3, anonymous. Number 4, discredited. Number 5, wrongdoing. Number 6, unprecedented. Yeah. So remember these words, especially for tomorrow's evaluation, because tomorrow is the final test. Tomorrow I told you is vocabulary and grammar from Unit 12 only. Yeah. Do you have any questions about this part before we continue? All right. If you don't have any questions, let's go to page number 159. Yeah. This is lesson D. The book, page 100. Oh, okay. Page 159. Yeah. Okay, guys. Let's go with this. Okay. Dare to disagree. Yeah. That's the title of this section. This is lesson D. Okay. Yeah. TED Talks. Okay. Let's talk about this person. Yeah. The name of this person is Margaret Heffernan. I will read information for you because actually in a moment you will watch videos from her. So you will have to do certain tasks and then you will have to give me even opinions about what you see. Okay? So, who is Margaret Heffernan? She is an entrepreneur, a writer, and the former CEO of several companies. Guys, do you understand when we say the expression entrepreneur? What is an entrepreneur in Spanish? Do you understand that? It's similar to say businessman. Well, entrepreneur in Spanish is emprendedor. No? So yes, that's what she does. Yes, okay. So she studies how organizations think. In particular, how an all too common culture of conflict avoidance can lead organizations and managers astray. Yeah? What is this, astray? Astray means por el mal camino. Yeah? Yeah, because that's the problem. Remember that in this section or in this unit, we're talking about assertiveness. Many times, yeah, lots of times, it's because of people, when they don't say what they think in order to avoid conflict, that the organizations and even managers or even the same workers or people, they lead astray. They don't go for the right path. Now, Margaret Heffernan's idea, worth spreading, this expression, worth spreading, que vale la pena, en este caso, compartir o decir, o expresar también, o viralizar, is that if we want the best results at work, we can't be afraid to challenge our colleagues. I must dare to disagree with conventional wisdom. Okay? I must dare to disagree with conventional wisdom. Look at this expression, wisdom. Wisdom in Spanish means sabiduría. Yeah? And that's true. We need that in order to disagree with our partners, with our colleagues. Yeah? Because we need to express ideas. Maybe we're right and they may be wrong, but we will never know it if we don't dare to have a word with them. Yeah? Now that we have information about Margaret Heffernan, okay, I want you to check here the previewing. Okay, here we have a paragraph in which there are 3 words involved. I want you to match the words involved with the definitions here. Yeah, I'm going to read this and then you will tell me the answers for the words involved. Yeah, here we go. It says, Alice Stewart was a British physician and a pioneer in social medicine. Pioneer means pionera. Yeah? After World War II, remember this, guys, in English, we don't say Second World War, yeah? Because in Spanish, I think we say that, right? We say Segunda Guerra Mundial. The translation should be like Second World War, but no. In English, what they say is World War II. After World War II, she specialized in the study of childhood leukemia. Yeah, look at this expression, leukemia. That's the pronunciation, leukemia. Yeah? She found that the practice of X-raying pregnant women was causing leukemia in children. Yes, imagine. Do you know that, by the way, guys? Nowadays, for example, I remember when I was working on board, we had also this machine, X-ray machine, and sometimes the passengers needed that in order to check maybe they broke a bone or something, right? So before doing that on ladies, yeah, before applying the X-ray machine on ladies, the nurses, they always ask to the ladies, excuse me, madam, do you know if you are pregnant? And when they didn't know, they had a test. They had a pregnancy test in order to check. Yeah. Because, yeah, look, here it says, X-raying pregnant, practice of X-raying pregnant women was causing leukemia in the children. Yeah? The medical community, afraid of the controversy this would provoke, strongly opposed her finding and tried to disprove it. Mm-hmm. Stewart became embroiled in a 25-year battle to get her research recognized. Can you believe this, guys? 25 years. Wow. She discovered something in 1990, imagine, let's suppose. But it was not valid until 2015. Yeah, 2015, imagine. Finally, in the 1970s, experts were persuaded and the practice of X-raying pregnant women was stopped. Yeah, that's the point. No more X-ray for women who are pregnant in order to avoid leukemia. Yeah, leukemia in children. Now, tell me, guys, let's go with Raider. Raider, number 1. Which of these 3 words is number 1? Can you read it, please?
Okay, teacher. Alice.
No.
Alice
Number 1
was
to show.
Okay, teacher. To show to be incorrect.
Thank you. Which is the answer? Provoke, disprove, or embroil? You have those options. Tell me what you think is the answer.
Embroiled?
No, it's not embroiled. Make another choice. You have 2 options. Provoke or disprove. Raider?
I don't know, teacher.
No, but you have 2 options here. Provoke and disprove. Just make your choice. These are your 2 options now.
Disproof.
Very good. Yeah, as simple as that. Disproof, yeah? In this case, it's like refutar, yeah? Disproof in Spanish, remember this, guys, is refutar, yeah? Okay, number one, disproof, refutar. Number two, Susan, can you read number two, please?
Deeply involved in a difficult situation.
Yeah, deeply. Which word do you think it is? Embroil or provoke?
Provoke.
No, actually, it's the other word. The word embroil, yeah? Embroil means es metida en un lío, ¿no? O en un embrollo. That means, having or being in a difficult situation. And the last one, you know the answer, but I want you to read it just in case. Viviana, can you read number 3, please? Viviana is not here. Okay.
Teacher?
Can you read number
Teacher?
3, please?
Okay. To cause a reaction, especially a negative one.
Yeah, and the word here is provoke. Yeah.
Yes.
This is the last option. Be careful with this word. I mean, not the word, but the action. Yeah. It's not good to provoke people, especially when talking about fighting. Yeah. So you must be careful. Try to be peaceful. And remember that peaceful means Pacific. Never provoke other people. Yeah. That's my suggestion. Okay. Now, okay, you already know the words. Now let's go for a challenge, the real challenge. Yeah. Okay, this is what you're going to do. In the first part of this tech talk, of this video, yeah, I have to open it right away. I forgot to open that. Okay, it was, what was? Oh, well, it's here. Okay, come on. All right. The videos. This is a student book. This is unit 12. And here we have the videos. Excellent. All the videos are here, yeah? Okay, guys, so as I was telling you, yeah, we go for this. As I was telling you, in the first part of the video, I want you to get the information to answer the questions here, yeah? So I really need you to, in this case, identify just certain parts of the information. Not all the text, not all the video is necessary. Just the message for these questions, yeah? I will ask two people to read the questions here. Yeah, I will read the alternatives. Number one, can you read number one, please, Jocelyn? Number one.
Yes, teacher. What made Alice Stewart and George Neil good collaborators?
Excellent. Have three options here. Both of them loved working with numbers. Both of them were very friendly people. Both of them were good at dealing with conflict. Okay. So let's suppose that during the conversation you hear something like this. Yeah. For example, you hear like, oh, sorry. All right. Okay. Maybe you hear something like, okay, so we have these two people working in a company. The girl's name is Alice. The boy's name is George. Yeah. And they have so many differences at work, although they are very sociable. Yeah. They like to be surrounded by other people. They like teamwork. So in that case, when you hear this information I have just mentioned, which is going to be the answer, A, B, or C? Do you want me to repeat? I can do it. Yeah. So in this company, there are two people, Alice, George. Yeah. They are so different from each other. Yeah. But they have this thing in common, and it's teamwork. They like to be surrounded by other people. They are sociable. So in that case, the answer is going to be any idea?
B.
Letter B. Very good. But did I say friendly? I didn't say friendly. I say other words. What word did I say?
Sociable.
Sociable and friendly are similar. Yeah. Remember, it's not sometimes the same words you will have in the video or in the listening. It's actually another word but with the same meaning. Can you read number 2, please, Soila?
Yes, teacher. Which of the following best summarizes their model of thinking?
Thank you. Yeah, summarize is in base form, but in the case of present simple, summarizes. Yeah. Okay. 3 options. A. Hard facts and statistics are more reliable than personal opinions. B. Finding evidence that disproves a theory is just as important as finding evidence that confirms it. And C. Finding a middle ground compromise is crucial to resolving personality differences between coworkers. Okay, a middle ground compromise es como un compromiso, ¿no? A mitad, okay. Un compromiso de por medio, ¿ya? So, let's suppose, okay. Let's suppose that maybe in the conversation or in the video, in the TED Talk, you hear something like this. You hear something like, all right, so after telling you this information about Alice and George, yeah, I must remark that they are very smart. They never make a decision, yeah, based on intuition. No, they have to check their numbers. They have to check, in this case, the possibilities for every single action they will take. Which would be the option in this case?
Letter A.
Excellent. But I didn't say statistics. What did I say? What did I say?
In the numbers.
In the numbers, the information. Nah? You know that numbers is related to statistics. Yeah, you see? So that's the point here. I think you're already prepared, yeah, to watch the video. And that's what you're going to do. Watch the video and, yes, later you will tell me your answers for those questions. Yeah? Here we go. 1, 2, and 3.
So for 25 years, Alice Stewart had a very big fight on her hands. So how did she know that she was right? Well, she had a fantastic model for thinking. She worked with a statistician named George Neal, and George was pretty much everything that Alice wasn't. So Alice was very outgoing and sociable, and George was a recluse. Alice was very warm, very empathetic with her patients. George frankly preferred numbers to people. But he said this fantastic thing about their working relationship. He said, my job is to prove Dr. Stewart wrong. He actively sought disconfirmation, different ways of looking at her models, at her statistics, different ways of crunching the data in order to disprove her. He saw his job as creating conflict around her theories, because it was only by not being able to prove that she was wrong that George could give Alice the confidence she needed to know that she was right. It's a fantastic model of collaboration. Thinking partners who aren't echo chambers. I wonder how many of us have or dare to have such collaborators. Alice and George were very good at conflict. They saw it as thinking.
Just in case you will watch the video again, yeah? Just in case. Here we go. 1, 2, and 3. Get your answers for questions 1 and 2, yeah?
So for 25 years, Alice Stewart had a very big fight on her hands. So how did she know that she was right? Well, she had a fantastic model for thinking. She worked with a statistician named George Neal, and George was pretty much everything that Alice wasn't. So Alice was very outgoing and sociable, and George was a recluse. Alice was very warm, very empathetic with her patients. George, frankly, preferred numbers to people. But he said this fantastic thing about their working relationship. He said, "My job is to prove Dr. Stewart wrong." He actively sought disconfirmation, different ways of looking at her models, at her statistics, different ways of crunching the data in order to disprove her. He saw his job as creating conflict around her theories, because it was only by not being able to prove that she was wrong that George could give Alice the confidence she needed to know that she was right. It's a fantastic model of collaboration. Thinking partners who aren't echo chambers. I wonder how many of us have or dare to have such collaborators. Alice and George were very good at conflict. They saw it as thinking.
Okay. So in the case of question number 1, the answer is letter. Which letter, guys?
C.
Repeat. A?
Letter C.
Letter C.
Excellent. Letter C. Absolutely true. They were actually two different, they said, right? Yes. But that's the point. They both like correcting each other, dealing with conflict. They were not afraid of saying what they think. Yeah? Now, 2.
Letter B.
Excellent. Yeah, that's an interesting model of thinking. Yeah. Have you noticed that, guys? I will make a stop here before we go on to the next page. That sometimes, okay, it's good to have people around you, okay, that say, yeah, you're right. I think, yes, you got the point. We should do this. We should do that. We should take into consideration your idea. But it's also good to have another person who will say, sorry, I think you are not considering this. You forgot this detail. I think you may be wrong. I think you may reconsider your belief, your thoughts. And it's good to have that because that's true. I mean, there is no perfection on this world. You may have a good idea, but that doesn't make it the best idea. There may be some aspects that you are not taking into account, and there will be a person who will make you notice that. Yeah? That's what they try to explain here in this activity, or in this section of activity. Now, in part number 2, go to page 160, by the way, now, okay? Student books on page 160. All right, yeah. Now, in this activity, activity B, I want you, okay, to watch the second part of a tech talk. And here we have a question that says, would Margaret Heffernan agree with the following statements? Circle Y for yes, circle N for no. Yeah? There are 6 sentences here. Okay. So let's see. I want you to read the sentences very quickly. Yeah, I will tell people to do it. Yeah. Let's go with our left. Number 1. Read it, please. Left is not here. Catherine, number 1, please read it.
Sure.
Okay. Number 1.
Number 1, people who have similar points of view make the most effective collaborators.
Thank you. Number 2, Catherine.
Constructive conflict requires a lot of patience and energy.
Thank you very much. 3, One moment. A constructive, means that we are trying to do this for good, for a change, for a better. Yeah. Now, 3, Danai. I think Danai is not here. Next, Daniela. 3. Daniela is not here either. I can't believe
Yes,
it.
teacher.
Okay, Daniela, we listen to you. Was that Daniela or Danai?
Daniela, teacher.
Okay, number 3.
Okay. The biggest problems we face have come from individuals, not organization.
Okay, thank you. Just reading, don't worry. We don't know the answers yet because we need to watch the second part of the video. Yeah? Okay, number 4, Dennis.
A successful organization is one that knows how to avoid conflict.
Yeah, successful. Thank you. Now 5, Dylan.
Mary, CEO.
Many European and American executives are afraid to raise concern at work.
Yeah, to raise concern means to express what they think. Yeah, to express. Why does this happen? We are not sure about it, but in the video you will hear the reason. 6, it's going to be Flor.
Many CEOs pay more attention to recruiting employees instead of examining the organization's culture and how it thinks.
Yes, they have priorities. So let's check what the priorities are. Remember, it's hard to say yes or no here because we don't know what she says about all these ideas. So you will watch the video twice, second part of the tech talk, and then you tell me, the answers for each sentence. Here we go. 1, 2, and 3.
So what does that kind of constructive conflict require? Well, first of all, it requires that we find people who are very different from ourselves. That means we have to resist the neurobiological drive, which means that we really prefer people mostly like ourselves. And it means we have to seek out people with different backgrounds, different disciplines, different ways of thinking, and different experience, and find ways to engage with them. That requires a lot of patience and a lot of energy. So it's one thing to do that in a one-to-one relationship, but it strikes me that the biggest problems we face, many of the biggest disasters that we've experienced, mostly haven't come from individuals, they've come from organizations, some of them bigger than countries, many of them capable of affecting hundreds, thousands, even millions of lives. So how do organizations think? Well, for the most part, they don't. And that isn't because they don't want to. It's really because they can't. And they can't because the people inside of them are too afraid of conflict. In surveys of European and American executives, fully 85% of them acknowledged that they had issues or concerns at work that they were afraid to raise. Afraid of the conflict that would provoke, afraid to get embroiled in arguments that they did not know how to manage and felt that they were bound to lose. 85% is a really big number. It means that organizations mostly can't do what George and Alice so triumphantly did. They can't think together. And it means that people like many of us who have run organizations and gone out of our way to try to find the very best people we can mostly fail to get the best out of them?
Yes, one more time, because as I told you, yeah, this is part number 2, which is a bit longer. Yeah, this video lasts almost 3 minutes. Yeah, check the ideas again. I think number 1 and number 2 are the easiest ones because the words are the same. The other ones may take you the second round. Yeah, so watch again, and then you tell me the answers. 1, 2, 3.
So what does that kind of constructive conflict require? Well, first of all, it requires that we find people who are very different from ourselves. That means we have to resist the neurobiological drive, which means that we really prefer people mostly like ourselves. And it means we have to seek out people with different backgrounds, different disciplines, different ways of thinking, and different experience, and find ways to engage with them. That requires a lot of patience and a lot of energy. So it's one thing to do that in a one-to-one relationship, but it strikes me that the biggest problems we face, many of the biggest disasters that we've experienced, mostly haven't come from individuals, they've come from organizations, some of them bigger than countries, many of them capable of affecting hundreds, thousands, even millions of lives. So how do organizations think? Well, for the most part, they don't. And that isn't because they don't want to. It's really because they can't. And they can't because the people inside of them are too afraid of conflict. In surveys of European and American executives, fully 85% of them acknowledged that they had issues or concerns at work that they were afraid to raise. Afraid of the conflict that would provoke, afraid to get embroiled in arguments that they did not know how to manage and felt that they were bound to lose. 85% is a really big number. It means that organizations mostly can't do what George and Alice so triumphantly did. They can't think together. And it means that people like many of us who have run organizations and gone out of our way to try to find the very best people we can mostly fail to get the best out of them.
Okay, guys, here we go. Number 1. What do you think? Number 1, yes or no?
No.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Yeah, that is clear, right? We need different points of view, actually, according to Margaret Heffernan, right? Well, the idea here is to check which of these sentences she would agree with. Yeah? Now, 2.
Yes.
Yes.
Same words in the dialogue. Same words. Nothing to say here. Nothing else to say. 3.
Yes.
Actually, no. Yeah, she said something like, most of the time problems don't come from individuals, but from organizations. Some of them bigger than countries. Bigger than countries. That means, okay. Yeah. Not individuals. 4.
No.
No.
The point is that say what you think. Do not be afraid of, in this case, having a conflict. Sometimes conflict is good because different points of view are going to work together in order to find a solution or to agree or to reach an agreement. 5.
Yes.
85%
of Yeah, people actually. Wow. Well, that was a survey. There was a survey, 85%, I think, was the result. And 6.
Yes.
Yes.
This is about logical. Even here in Peru, they just care about who they are going. No, they just care about hiring people. They don't care about the rest. They don't try to establish a culture. Yeah, they don't try to engage the personnel. Not all cases, but most of the times it's like that. Recruiting employees, and the rest is on the second plane. Yeah. Okay. Now, for the next activity, activity C. You will watch the last part of the tech talk. Yeah, it's the last part. Maybe after this we can start a mini break. So, in the last part of the tech talk, there are some words she's going to use. Yeah, the words are Alice, whistleblower, crank, and leader. Yeah, please watch this part of the tech talk and try to understand these words in context. Yeah, because the definitions of the words are in the same video in context. So here you have sentences. In a moment, after you watch the video twice, you will tell me the definitions for these words. Yeah? Here we go. 1, 2, 3.
So how do we develop the skills that we need? Because it does take skill and practice too. If we aren't going to be afraid of conflict, we have to see it as thinking, and then we have to get really good at it. So recently I worked with an executive named Joe, and Joe worked for a medical device company. And Joe was very worried about the device that he was working on. He thought that it was too complicated, and he thought that its complexity created margins of error that could really hurt people. He was afraid of doing damage to the patients he was trying to help. But when he looked around his organization, nobody else seemed to be at all worried. So he didn't really want to say anything. After all, maybe they knew something he didn't. Maybe he'd looked stupid. But he kept worrying about it, and he worried about it so much that he got to the point where he thought the only thing he could do was leave a job he loved. In the end, Joe and I found a way for him to raise his concerns, and what happened then is what almost always happens in this situation. It turned out everybody had exactly the same questions and doubts. So now Joe had allies. They could think together. And yes, there was a lot of conflict and debate and argument, but that allowed everyone around the table to be creative, to solve the problem, and to change the device. Joe was what a lot of people might think of as a whistleblower, except that, like almost all whistleblowers, he wasn't a crank at all. He was passionately devoted to the organization and the higher purposes that that organization served. But he had been so afraid of conflict until finally he became more afraid of the silence. And when he dared to speak, he discovered much more inside himself and much more given the system than he had ever imagined. And his colleagues don't think of him as a crank. They think of him as a leader. So how do we have these conversations more easily and more often? Well, the University of Delft requires that its PhD students have to submit 5 statements that they're prepared to defend. It doesn't really matter what the statements are about. What matters is that the candidates are willing and able to stand up to authority. I think it's a fantastic system, but I think leaving it to PhD candidates is far too few people and way too late in life. I think we need to be teaching these skills to kids and adults at every stage of their development if we want to have thinking organizations and a thinking society.
Okay, let's do it. We won't have to watch the video again because, as I told you, it's just about the definition of the words and trying to check the context for them, yeah? Because here we have 4 sentences. They are not definitions, they are actually situations in which these words would fit, yeah? For example, number 1, Alice. Alice or allies? I'm not sure. I think it's allies. Just a moment, okay? Just a moment, my students. Allies. It has allies. And allies, that will be the expression. Allies, okay, allies. Okay, guys, so allies, which of the situations represents the
Mr.
word?
One question.
Yeah,
What is a crank?
I will tell you in context now. Don't worry. I can say that maybe crank is similar to say like a crazy person, yeah? In this context we are talking about. Yeah, they know he's not a crank. Yeah. Maybe I don't know. Maybe a context in which we can use this expression. Yeah. Oh, okay. This person, right? This person that all the times avoids going to parties. Yeah. Avoids going to parties, avoids going out. Yeah. Come on, man. What's going on? Life is so beautiful, and you can find many good things outside. Don't be a crank. Don't be a crazy person. No, I'm not a crank. I'm not a crazy person. I just want to avoid spending money. Yeah. Because that's the point. Every time you go out, you spend money. Not only for beer, not only on food, but even for taking shuttles, taking bikes, taking taxis. So that's the idea. But allies, yeah. Allies, number 1.
Is a few of Pablo's college share the same concern as him and are on his side.
Yes, that's the expression, yeah. In this case, remember, allies means aliados in Spanish, yeah? Don't forget. So when they share the same concerns, we can say that they are allies, yeah? Allies. Number 2, whistleblower.
Pablo informed the media about a faulty product being manufactured by his company.
Yes. The expression faulty, okay, or faulty, that's the expression in English. Faulty product. Yeah. So he worked for this company, but he saw that something was faulty, so he informed the media about it. Yeah. Crank. I have just mentioned about crank.
Me? No, Gina is a very negative and non-temporary person and seems to like to cause conflict.
Thank you very much, Gina. To be honest, I didn't notice that your name was here. I have just noticed it now. But is this true? No, right?
I'm not, mister.
I feel happy to know it.
Yes.
Negative, bad temper. Another expression you can use here is pessimistic, yeah? So crank. Crank would be like that, pessimistic. Yeah, have you noticed that sometimes you find people, maybe at school, university, or at work, that are like that? They are cranks, yeah? So, wow. It's never possible, or it's impossible actually, to convince them or to persuade them to do something that will make them good, yeah, that will make them improve. By the way, the expression crank, let's look for that on the translator because I'm not sure about the translation of crank in Spanish. Because this expression is in English. Okay. This is an English phrase, actually. He's not a crank. Chiflado, yeah? But chiflado, as I told you, is like crazy. Yeah. So I'm not convinced about that translation. Let me check. Yeah, crank is manivela. But in this context, lunático, you see? Crank. No. I'm not convinced about that. But it says that. It says loco, it says chiflado. Yeah. Ah, here is another page. I like this page. No. You can consider that. But in general words, crank is like a pessimistic person. Yeah. Of course, you know that leader is the last sentence. Can you read the last sentence, please? Who is next to read? Let me check. Isabel, right? Isabel, can you read, please, the next sentence? The last sentence here. Melissa.
Melissa is good at organizing and guiding teams as well as managing conflict.
Thank you very much. Guiding. That's true. Being a leader is not the same as being a boss. They say that being a boss involves just giving orders. Being a leader involves organizing, guiding, yeah, mentoring, yeah, and so on. Teacher, what is mentoring? When we talk about mentoring, is como que enseñar, ¿no? Mentoring, yeah. It's similar to teaching, yeah, mentoring. That expression, it comes from mentor. He's my mentor. Have you heard that expression? Sometimes they say that. He's my mentor. That means he has taught you a lot, yeah? And not necessarily is going to be a teacher. Your best friend can be your mentor, yeah? And your best friend, well, not all the time is going to be a teacher, yeah? Okay, let's finish. I would like to finish the page, guys. Maybe at 9:30 we can start the what? Yes or not? Yeah, let's finish the page. I want to finish the page, and then we start the break. Yeah, maybe at 9:40 we start the break. Okay. So let's continue with activity D. I just want to discuss these questions here. Okay. Number 1 says, Margaret Heffernan says, it's a fantastic model of collaboration, thinking partners who are in echo chambers. What does she mean by this? Let's ask this person. This person is going to be Itamar, right? Itamar, welcome back. Nice to see you again. Echo chambers. Do you understand this expression? What do you think she means by this? Echo chambers. Itamar? I think Itamar has some problems. Chiara, what do you think about this? Echo chambers. What do you think Margaret means by this? Chiara, not here. Juan Carlos, number 1. Echo chambers. What do you think she means by this? Juan Carlos not here. Susan, what about you? Is my microphone?
Teacher?
When the lady, Margaret, says echo chambers, what does she mean by this?
Mister?
Yes, one moment, Kiara. I think Alison is about to give her opinion. Later you, okay? Okay, Susan, so? Echo chambers. Any idea? Just say what you think or what comes to your mind. Say it. I'm not going to say if you're right. I'm not going to say if you're wrong. I just want to hear your opinion.
No, teacher, I don't know.
You don't get it? No problem. Kiara, anything to say about echo chambers?
When she said thinking partners who are in echo chambers, I'm agree with her because I think that when we say a concept about it, we need to we need to resolve some problems and take some arguments to um, for example, if you are in a conversation with a person who aren't the same point of view of you,
Mm-hmm.
you need to talk with him or her, and if you want to win the fight or the conversation, you need to tell some arguments that, for example, of science,
Mm-hmm.
or it can be official with investigation. So I understand it with when she said echo chambers.
Okay. Wow. That was a good floor. Or actually, it was
I'm
actually a
studying. I'm studying science of communication, Mister.
ah that that explains a lot. Yeah. I will give you 3 extra points for your opinion. I think it's very valuable. Yeah, I understand that your opinion is summarized when saying that maybe other perspectives are necessary, or maybe other fields of studies are necessary too. Yeah, not only from one aspect or circumstance, but maybe from other points of view. And I understand that echo chambers actually means echo. For example, when there is echo, you say hello, 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 or all right, all right, all right, all right, all right. All right. So echo chambers is, yeah, that thinking partners who are echo chambers are going to repeat what you say. Yeah. If you say yes, yes. If you say this is why, yes, this is why. But having thinking partners who are in echo chambers will involve, hey, this is white. No, it's black. Hey, let's say yes. No, let's say no. So like a contrast. And it's good in order to notice, yeah, or to maybe recheck, right, the ideas, and in this case evaluate possible, let's say, maybe problems or issues that may come out of the decisions that they will take. Yeah. So that's what echo chambers refers to in this case. But what Kiara, right? But what Kiara said was also valid. Mhm.
It's a person who doesn't have the same point of view of you. Point of view of you.
Yes. No, okay. So that's the idea. She thinks that it's a fantastic model of collaboration, having people who don't have the same point of view as you. Mhm. Yes. Who are in echo chambers. Echo chambers is that they repeat. Echo. They are echo. You say yes, they say yes. You say white, they say white. So it's kind of
Okay.
monotonous. It's kind of monotonous to have people like this. Yeah. It's better to have, other opinions too. What you said is also valid, but from other perspectives, right? From other fields of studies. Now, thank you very much, Kiara. I will ask this question to May. May, what is Heffernan's opinion of whistleblowers? First, do you remember what is a whistleblower, May? Do you remember whistleblower? What is that?
Not
May? Can you hear me? I think she has problems with her internet.
Sure. I
yes, there you
have
are.
problems with my connection, and recently readmitted the class.
Okay. You have joined the lesson. Nice. But you can speak now. I can hear you loud and clear. Do you remember what is a whistleblower, May? Do you remember?
No, teacher.
No? Whistleblower is a person who works for a company or in an organization, and anytime he sees something that is wrong, wrongdoing, yeah, maybe let's say, for example, he works for a laptops company. Okay, this factory makes laptops, but he notices that maybe okay the quality of the keyboard. Look, do you remember what is keyboard? Look at this expression. Do you know, May, what is keyboard? Keyboard. Do you know, May, what is keyboard? Every laptop has keyboards, yeah?
Clave.
Teclado, right?
Clave.
Exactly. Keyboard is teclado. Very good. Teclado. So let's suppose that he sees that in this factory, the keyboard, the keyboard's quality is the slowest one. Or sorry, is the lowest one. What it means, teacher? That maybe in 2 months, the keyboards disappear. They start maybe, pulling out, they break, I don't know. And when we buy a laptop, we don't expect this to happen in 2 months. We may expect this to happen in at least 1 year. So low quality. But the company says, no, we're doing this because, we want to save money. Yeah. We want to save expenses. So it's wrong. This person who works in the company will tell this to the press. He will inform the TV channels, the media. He will say, in this company, yeah, in ASUS company, they are doing this. So that's a whistleblower. So the question is, May, do you watch the video? This video with Margaret Heffernans? What is her opinion?
No, I have disconnect this part.
Oh, you are okay. You are not. Anyway, no problem. But I want to ask your opinion. Do you think whistleblowers are right or are wrong? What do you think? Or what do you say? I have just explained your case. So you tell me. Hmm? In Spanish, whistleblower is como demandante, no, denunciante, no? Something like that. But what is, sorry?
Mandante.
Yes, So, what do you think about whistleblowers? Is it okay? Is it wrong?
Depend the problem in the context.
Depending. For example, let's talk about this woman called Magali Medina. Yeah? Which is not exactly a whistleblower. I mean, she doesn't work for an organization. She has her own TV show. She's a journalist. So is she right? Every time she uncovers infidelity in Peru? What do you think, May? Like the case of Melissa Paredes, like the case of Puto Guadalupe, and many, many other people she has uncovered. Was it right? Was it wrong? What do you think, May?
It's wrong.
Why?
This problem is the complicated with the case and depend the lower.
Depend on the what?
The lower.
Lower. Can you write it on the chat, please? I don't get the word. On the chat here, write it. Remember, guys, that we are getting ready for a speaking test. Tomorrow is your speaking test, and it's not going to be a conversation between us. It's going to be a presentation. Yeah, so I really need you to speak. Okay, May, I was asking you to write, depending on the lower. Lower, what is lower? That's what I heard. I'm not sure if I am saying the word or if I am pronouncing the word properly. May? Gina? Tell me, Gina.
Yes, Mister, about the question about whistleblowers. Whistleblowers is illegal, right? Is illicit. For example, in the text say, Pablo informed the media about a false product being manufactured by his company. Reveals information about activity right? A private or public or organization. Is this illegal, right?
Yeah, I suppose that companies, they have policies. Yeah, do you understand when I say policies? It's the plural for policy. Yeah, for example, my policy during my lessons is when I check the attendance, cameras and microphones on. That's my policy. Yeah, it's in Spanish política. Yeah, and policies is the plural. Yeah, so yes, there are companies in which they have this policy of non-disclosure. Yeah, non-disclosure policies. What is that, teacher? Confidencialidad. That means everything, every action, everything that happens inside the company must be kept inside the company. It shouldn't go out unless there is an office in charge of it, because every company has an office that is related to, public relationships. Yeah, they are in charge of it. The rest, well, the other people working in the company do not have the right to do it. Yeah. So yeah, your point is valid too. Mm-hmm. Yes, it's illegal. Maybe we can say it is wrong. Yeah, that's an opinion. You have 1 point for that. Thank you, Gina. Marchan, right? Okay, good. Well, but according to the video, I think what Hefferner's opinion of whistleblowers is that they may be right. Yeah, apart from the context we are talking about. Yeah, I think she is okay with whistleblowers because that's the point. Whistleblowers don't say bad things or don't say actually false things. They don't fake information. They say the real things. So they do it. They may have their reasons for this. But the point is that, as I told you, echo chambers. Yes. X, Y is Y. No. There must be other points of view. There must be another perspective included for making decisions, for taking actions. Yeah. To finish the page, guys, in 4 minutes we should start the break. Yeah. Here we have excerpts from the Tech Talk. Excerpts means extracts. I want you to watch these excerpts and choose the correct meaning of the words. Yeah. Please watch the video because the activity is in the same video. Yeah. Let's do it together. 1, 2, and 3.
He said, my job is to prove Dr. Stewart wrong. He actively sought disconfirmation, different ways of looking at her models, at her statistics, different ways of crunching the data in order to disprove her.
Okay, guys, this is the first one. Crunching data means data so that it becomes useful in making decisions. A, storing, B, analyzing, or C, deleting. What do you think? Just make your choice.
B.
Yes, analyzing. Very good. We can say crunch data should be like process, right? O sea, procesar, no analizar.
It's a fantastic model of collaboration. Thinking partners who aren't echo chambers. I wonder how many of us have or dare to have such collaborators.
Let's go for this expression now. People who dare to take risks and do something challenging are very dare to.
Letter A.
Yes, courageous, yeah? Like the same case with this superhero called Daredevil. which in Spanish is El Hombre Sin Miedo. Because he's courageous.
In surveys of European and American executives, fully 85% of them acknowledged that they had issues or concerns at work that they were afraid to raise. Afraid of the conflict that would provoke, afraid to get embroiled in arguments that they did not know how to manage and felt that they were bound to lose.
Okay, I like this expression. It's one of my favorites too. Something that is bound to happen will A, probably not, B, never, C, almost certainly happen. What do you think?
Almost certainly.
B. Almost certainly. Yeah, letter C. Very good.
Yes.
Bound to it means destinado a. Yeah, bound.
Well, the University of Delft requires that its PhD students have to submit 5 statements that they're prepared to defend. It doesn't really matter what the statements are about. What matters is that the candidates are willing and able to stand up to authority.
Okay. To stand up to someone or something, you have to be willing to A, put up a fight against them, B, lie to them, or C, obey them. What do you think? Stand up to. Be careful because stand up by itself means, sorry, repeat?
Letter A.
Yes, put up a fight. Yeah. Stand up to someone or something means as darles cara o hacerles cara. That means enfrentarlos. Yeah. That's the point here. Okay. Now that you have the definitions of these expressions, we will work on the sentences that are in activity B. Yeah. Okay. So for activity B, complete the sentences with words on the box. Yeah, remember. Crunch data, dare to, bound to, stand up to. Dare to in Spanish is atreverse a. Yeah. 2 minutes. Then we check the answers.
Shaman. Ahorita dijo que va antes del examen.
Okay, let's check. In the case of number 1, okay.
Stand up to.
Yes, I think I can ask this in general. Surveys show that employees these days are increasingly willing to report corruption and wrongdoing. Whistleblowing is therefore,
Bound to.
yeah, bound to increase actually. Yeah, because that's the point. It's increasing. Yeah, more corruption, more wrongdoing. That's the problem, and it's so sad to think about this, guys. Corruption is a problem that will never stop. I think. Yeah, it's increasing, so it's bound to. So whistleblowing cases are therefore to increase. Yeah, so are therefore bound to increase. 2, thanks to new computer software, we can faster than before.
Crunch data.
Crunch data.
Crunch data. Don't say data. Yeah, that's the problem in Spanish. These projectors, yeah, we say, puedes encender la data. Data. Actually, the name is not data. Data, I think, was the name of a company, of a branch. The same as Sony, Panasonic, Philips. But the name of that is projector. Data projector is the name, actually, no proyector de datos. Yeah, data. Number 3, increased legal protection will give workers more confidence too.
Stand up to.
Excellent. Their employers. Finally, if you were a whistleblower, would you reveal your identity?
There too.
Yeah. Oof. That's the point with whistleblowers. They are scared. They are afraid of it. Don't forget, bound to crunch data, stand up to there too. Any questions about this part, my students? Okay. It's break time. We continue the lesson at 10:05. Yeah. After this mini break, I will explain you the task for the writing. Yeah, I will explain you the task for the writing test. Okay. So enjoy your mini break. See you in a moment. Send me a message if you have questions.